Friday, June 13th, 2025, AGNDD intelliReport topic. June 2025, Israeli strikes on Iran. Please pardon any visual and informational inaccuracies in this entirely AI-generated Wikipedia-sourced video article. Before the 1979 Iranian Revolution, Israel and Iran were allies, but post-revolution Iran under Ruhollah Khomeini ended ties with Israel, supporting Arab countries and denouncing Israel. Iran's rhetoric towards Israel has been hostile, including Holocaust denial and threats of destruction. The Iran-Israel proxy conflict saw Iran backing groups like Hamas and Hezbollah against Israel. In 2024, direct military confrontations occurred between Iran and Israel, marking significant escalations. Iran's nuclear ambitions have been contentious, with the U.S. withdrawing from the 2015 nuclear deal in 2018, despite Iran's compliance. By 2025, U.S. intelligence suggested Iran wasn't pursuing nuclear weapons. A fleet of over 200 fighter jets, including advanced F-35Y Adir models, conducted airstrikes on Iran's nuclear program, targeting more than 100 sites across the country. Israel launched strikes on multiple locations in Iran, including Tabriz, Shiraz, the Natanz nuclear facility, Hamadan Air Base, and the Parchin military base. Explosions also occurred near the Fordow fuel enrichment plant, where an Israeli drone was reportedly shot down. The IDF confirmed targeting the Hamadan and Tabriz air bases, claiming to have dismantled the latter and destroyed numerous Iranian drones and missile launchers. Additionally, the Isfahan Nuclear Technology Research Center was targeted for its involvement in uranium reconversion. Iranian media claimed 2 Israeli jets were downed and a pilot captured, but the IDF denied these reports. On June 14th, Iranian media reported an explosion and a large fire at Tehran's Mehrabad International Airport. Fars news agency noted that 2 projectiles hit the area. Additionally, Iranian air defenses intercepted Israeli projectiles over Isfahan. An Israeli attack on June 13th resulted in at least 78 fatalities and 329 injuries, as reported by Fars news agency. Iran's UN ambassador confirmed these figures, while other sources reported 90 deaths. The strikes killed at least 20 senior commanders, including IRGC leaders and nuclear scientists. The IDF claimed the deaths of several top Iranian military figures, including Major General Mohammad Bagheri and IRGC Commander Hossein Salami, though some claims were disputed by Iranian media. Iranian authorities suspended flights at Imam Khomeini International Airport due to regional tensions, affecting return flights for pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. Israel also suspended flights, declared a state of emergency, closed its airspace, schools, and banned large gatherings. Iraq and Jordan closed their airspace as well. Israel called up IDF reservists in anticipation of potential Iranian retaliation, but confirmed all pilots involved in strikes returned safely. Amid potential threats to Jews and Israelis globally, the Israeli National Security Council advised avoiding displays of Jewish identity. The Community Security Trust warned the UK Jewish community, while France's Jewish Community Protection Service urged vigilance. The Anti-Defamation League monitored the U.S. situation, and the NYPD heightened security at Jewish sites in New York City. At the UN Security Council meeting on June 13th, Iran's ambassador accused Israel of declaring war through premeditated aggression, violating the UN Charter. In contrast, Israel's ambassador described the attacks as self-defense, citing diplomatic failures and seeking acknowledgement of the international community's inability to halt Iran's nuclear program. Iran's armed forces and leaders, including Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, have vowed retaliation against Israel and the U.S. following recent strikes, labeling them as crimes. Iran claims a legal right to respond under the UN Charter and warns the U.S. of consequences. The IRGC is prepared to act despite leadership changes. Iran has suspended nuclear talks with the U.S. Former President Khatami urged the UN to condemn Israel. Protests in Qom demand retaliation, while some Iranians reportedly praised the strikes and criticized their government. Iran has imposed nationwide internet restrictions amid the tensions. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres urged restraint amid Middle East tensions, condemning military escalation. The IAEA, led by Rafael Grossi, stressed that nuclear facilities should never be attacked due to potential harm to people and the environment. The African Union called for an end to attacks, warning of threats to international peace. NATO emphasized the importance of de-escalation efforts by Israel's allies. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas expressed readiness to support peace efforts. The GCC condemned the attack, labeling it a threat to peace. Countries have reacted variably to the rising tensions between Israel and Iran. The Taliban, Armenia, Brazil, Indonesia, and Iraq condemned Israel's actions, citing violations of international law and threats to regional stability. Conversely, Argentina and the Czech Republic supported Israel's military actions, citing Iran's nuclear threat. Canada, France, and Germany called for restraint while affirming Israel's right to self-defense. Australia expressed concern over regional destabilization, while China and Japan emphasized diplomatic efforts and citizen safety. Overall, nations are divided, with some advocating for peace and others supporting military measures against perceived threats. Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis condemned a recent attack, with Hamas labeling it a violation of international norms and an existential threat posed by Israel. Hamas called for regional unity against Israel's actions. Hezbollah criticized the attack but refrained from retaliating, while the Houthis supported Iran's right to self-defense. U.S.-based organizations, Democracy for the Arab World Now and the National Iranian-American Council, criticized the attack as unlawful and lacking legal justification. Conversely, the Association of Families of Flight PS 752 victims in Canada supported the killing of Iranian General Hajizadeh. Exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi urged Iranian military forces to abandon the regime, criticizing Ali Khamenei for dragging Iran into war. Professor Afshin Elian condemned the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, urging Iranians to rise against the regime. Lawyer Ulysses Elian expressed hope for Iranian freedom, while politician Goldi Gamari questioned the regime's stability, noting Iranians' rejection of the current flag. Author Arash Azizi highlighted the timing of a recent strike, suggesting it undermines upcoming nuclear talks and risks escalating regional conflict. The overall sentiment reflects widespread opposition to the regime and a desire for change in Iran. The Jerusalem Post highlighted potential Iranian retaliation through various military and diplomatic means following Israeli strikes, which Israel deemed necessary to counter an existential threat. Analysts noted the strikes exposed Iran's vulnerabilities, with some praising Israel's precision and others warning of potential escalation. The attacks have shifted the power balance, and while some argue Israel's actions are necessary, others caution against provoking Iran further. Critics of U.S. policy suggest that using Israeli attacks as leverage is misguided, and there is concern that these actions might push Iran towards pursuing nuclear capabilities, contrary to their intended effect. As tensions rise, the international community watches closely, hoping for a peaceful resolution to prevent further escalation in the Middle East.
Thank you for watching this AGNDD intelliReport, dear viewers. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell button to get notified during new uploads. And make sure to tune in next time. Stay safe and healthy. Cheers!